Hello everyone, my name is Radsimmer and this is going to be the finale special of the Sims 3 King Perfect Legacy. So, I know this is pretty abrupt and I didn't want to end it, abruptly as well, but, I'm feeling like it's boring and I want to start something very new, and this has been going on for over 6 months now. So I think it's time that we take a stroll down memory lane and look at all these pictures of the family, and we move on from the kings. So if you don't know what the perfect legacy is, it is something I made up. It's a combination of the perfect genetics and the legacy challenge. So it is more the perfect genetics over the legacy, but of course a combination of both. What we pretty much stuck to our roots was getting the perfect genetics baby through the generations. So I enjoyed it, except that we had to have so many kids and sometimes it got hard. But in the first generation, we started off with Lizette King, who was the heir, and she had really light hair and purple eyes, and that was kind of the perfect genetics thing that went on through the generations. And she married a guy named Richie with dark hair and dark eyes, and they had 4 children, sparing the 4th child, Reed, as the perfect heir for the next generation. And they had Gazelle, Sagone, and Aaliyah. They had 3 girls and then 1 boy as the heir. And then they accumulated a little bit of money. The mother was a really good gem collector, consignment girl, and then he kind of took those traits, became a werewolf, and went on with his life as a werewolf, under making gems, finding tiberium everywhere. So a lot of things happened in the second generation. We had 6 children. We married Casey, which was the green-eyed, light-haired girl. And look at that picture. That is a Beyonce outfit I found, custom content. Had to put that in there, of course. They had 6 children. I forgot their names, it's unimportant, but we also had Kalel, and this is where most of the money was made, was the second generation. Very ambitious, all the kids went to boarding school. They were very good, and you know what? Funny things happened. We had some werewolf babies, some normal babies, human babies, but Kalel ended up being human, and it was very good, and she wanted to be a horseback rider. So what happened was, as she got older, she wanted to move to the country and be a horseback rider, have a horseback riding husband, and all that stuff. So that was her ambition. Second generation. Oh, and one of our kids also died. We had 7 kids, and one of our firstborns actually died when he drowned. So that was a big deal. But on to the third generation. Kalel didn't really like the things at the country, so they kept the house there and they moved to Bridgeport with her husband Caleb. And you know what? Everything was fine. She kind of moved up the social ladder and, had a bachelorette party, got married to him, of course, and, became very wealthy and very, famous. And she really pursued herself as a entrepreneurial famous woman, and this is where the fame kind of got tied in, and she didn't really work that much and the money started dwindling down. But she had penthouses, she's very childish, one of the most beautiful heirs in my opinion, and she had 2 of her own kids and adopted 2 kids. I kind of want to do like an Angelina Jolie thing, and look how beautiful she was. She was stunning for sure. And they had, like I said, 2 of their own kids, which is Mason right there, the perfect heir, and 2 of their adopted kids. And you know what? They had really fun. There's so many pictures here because it was probably one of my favorite generations. We brought Casey back. We had little Blair. That's little Blair. She's blonde, blue eyes. No one knows where she came from, but she got that. And, we had Mason, which was the 4th generation heir, and things started going downhill once Caleb was having an affair with our maid. So things went downhill, all this crap. There we go, there's our maid. And then Kalel knew she had to end it when she saw him making out with some other girl, and she worked away, divorced him, and they were out. He was very much in it for the money. But you know what? It was fine because they still had their daughters and their kids. That was our adopted girl on the right, Melody, very sassy. And there is Alara was the one on the left, and Mason obviously on the right. And then, of course, we have Casey, who was the grandma chick. And we had a really big house. We had a really good time in the third generation. This is probably my favorite because we worked a lot on family time, and we didn't have to have a crazy amount of kids. And then eventually she went back on the dating game and she married the Matthew Hamming. So they became very rich, very famous couple. It was amazing. Definitely my favorite. Mason also met his wife, soon to be wife of course, in Bridgeport, Alexa, which is actually my sim self. And look how pretty. Look, that was Melody. She was sassy as hell. And then, of course, there was Blairy Boo, who was gorgeous, beautiful blonde hair, and very kind of shy. And there is Kalel and Matthew on their honeymoon in France, which didn't actually get recorded. But yeah, they went on a fake honeymoon, but it wasn't recorded, of course. And they were proposed at home, very casual. Loved the family. Kalel, very humble, very strong girl. And for the wedding, they had a family wedding in Isla Paradiso, which was another beautiful wedding. They had no shoes on. All the girls had the same dress and hair and everything. And Alara got to keep her blue hair. Mason was right behind her as the perfect heir, of course. And they all had a beautiful wedding. And I'm very happy. Kalel actually married someone very much like herself. And, it was very good. Obviously, phones ringing during the ceremony. What else do I have to say? Kalel, definitely the favorite. She, so humble, knew what she was doing. This reminds me so much of Angelina Jolie. Never left her family, always connected to her family, and just an amazing woman. And that trip to Isla Paradiso really got them closer and closer. They all aged up into adults. Look, there's Alara. Alara was stunning. Oh my god, she was one of the most pretty Sims I've ever seen. And you know what? They got pregnant. She was about 40, 45 when they were pregnant. So, she got pregnant and it didn't go downhill, but she did get pregnant pretty late, and it was obviously with Matthew's baby, and there she was. And they had their daughter, Marina. And once they had Marina, Mason was actually an adult, flew Alexa back to, what was it called, Appaloosa Plains, where they went back to their home, and they actually got knocked up at about 18. She's very young, very scared, and right after the graduation, she got pregnant. So it was really scary for her. She wasn't too scared because family came from a lot of money, and she knew she didn't have to work, but she just did it, got married, and it happened. Casey died, and that was very scary for Blair. She was one of her best friends, and one of the highlights, I think, of the Perfect Legacy was this wedding. I shot it so well. I did a little photo shoot with this wedding. I enjoyed doing it so much. Alexa looked beautiful. Alexa's one of my favorite characters. Very family orientated, very strong. She went through a lot when she first married Mason because she didn't know what she should do, and she kind of just wanted to confirm her baby. She loved Mason, of course, but she was also 18 years old, and it was really crazy. And so to confirm her son Ashton, they kind of just got married, and everything was okay until, they moved to Isla Paradiso. But look at the family. We have Kalel, Matthew, Alexa, Mason, Blair, Alara, and Melody. So we have quite the bunch. All these girls very successful. Blair worked in fashion, Alara was a musician, and Melody, she became a little teacher. And, very successful family. I'm very proud of them. Easily my favorite generation, like I said, 12 times. And you know what? They fell madly in love, and they moved to Isla Paradiso, which was, a big investment. They bought $1 million house, which is a big house in The Sims 3, and you do know that. And she was feeling very weird in this huge home with butlers and everything. She had one son, and you know what? One day she got a little tipsy, and she was pregnant again with another baby at about 20. So, you know what? She felt more and more closer to Mason because she had another baby, and she actually didn't grow up with a father, and she didn't want to do that to her kids. So eventually she kind of worked it out with him, and they continued to be madly in love, and I'm very proud of their relationship. They flourished, and she got pregnant again, and it ended up being twins. They had twins. And you know what? 4 kids and counting. Not only Ashton had the perfect genetics, and we didn't want to pursue Ashton because he was already so old. And we waited and waited, and eventually we lost everything. They lost all their money from a bad investment and had to move into a $250,000 home with no money. Thankfully, they were able to move and get jobs, but that was only because of their family connections. And you know what? They still had a little bit of fancy cars, but they really had to sell everything. And actually led to them having 10 children, which is crazy to me. They ended up having 10 kids. Only one of them had the perfect genetics, and that, of course, was Ashton. So we just pursued Ashton. Ashton went to university, of course, and this was the 5th generation. Went to university, met the women of his dreams, and you know what? They got married. And I want to kind of end it on a good note, but I want to thank you all so much for watching this and being a part of it. It's been great series. I'm starting another long-term Let's Play, so look out for it. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for who's been watching since the beginning. I love you all so very much. We're ending it on a good note, I think, and yeah. Leave me your favorite moments in the comments, and I will see you all in my next Let's Play. Don't forget to check them out, and it's been a great run, and I'm so happy that I was able to do this for you guys, because this is probably one of my favorites. I just finished the 100 Baby Challenge, and I went into this, so yeah, I'll see you all in my next Let's Play. Don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, love you all so much. Bye, guys.